Kia ora koutou, welcome to this lesson of Haka Mana, the Māori Alphabet. A really good song to get you going in terms of understanding the Māori alphabet and the different little letters that we have, letters or like quotation marks. You'll see those come up. Just like anything, if you want to check out the timestamps and just go straight to one thing, so if you just want to learn the song straight away, you can go to that now. Those are going to be in the description, and you can bring up the little seeker searcher bar and you'll see them. If you just want to go and learn the song, you can go straight there. If you want to go and just have a practice with the play-along song right at the end, you can go to that as well. Or if you want a little bit of insight to Reo Māori, the Māori language, I've also got a little bit of a basic stuff. Just a disclaimer though, I'm not a Reo teacher, that's not what I do. I'm a music teacher, so I know everything to do with this, but I have a little bit of contribution, or as a whakatauki, a quote that my nana koro would say to me, aha ko he iti he pounamu, even though it is small, it is a treasure. So, let's get into this. Alright, first up we're going to be learning a Haka Mana, and because this is a good song for like kohanga reo, or just people who are starting out their reo journey, meaning they're starting to learn how to speak Māori, this is just a good little starter for you. So it doesn't matter if you're kohanga, which is just our preschool, kindergarten for our pepe, our babies, or if you're just starting out with your reo journey, this is a perfect song to try get you going. Because of that too, we are going to keep this one quite simple. It's just going to be in the key of A major, and it's a simple 1-4-5 progression. So the one chord is the A, the 4 is the D, and the 5 chord is the E in the key of A major. So because of this, we're just going to start off with A, and then we'll get into some insight into Te Reo Māori. So to start off with A, we're going to have our first finger on that second fret of the D string, or the 4th string. Our second finger is just going to go straight underneath that on the G on the second fret. And our third finger is going to go straight under that, behind the second fret on the B string or the second string. Alright, so you should have something like that just on the diagram over here. Even though the diagram will be a straight line like that way, horizontally. But realistically on the guitar, it's a little bit like that there. So it's not a perfectly straight line, but you kind of get it. So first finger on the second fret of the D string, second finger on the second fret of the G, and the third finger on the second fret of the B. Now with the A chord, remember we don't play the low E, we don't play this bottom E, or else it will become an A over E, an inversion, but we do play from the A string down. Cool, so that is our one chord, and that's how it's going to start. Now in this jam track at the end, I've just done a 4-count intro. So all that means is that you're going to play the A, and then you're going to do a passing E chord. So with our E chord, just like that there. So if we do a passing E chord, it's just an E chord just in general. So our first finger on the first fret of the G, or the 3rd string. Our second finger is going to go on the second fret of the A string, and then our third finger is going to go straight underneath that on the D string on the second fret. And you're going to strum all 6 strings for that E major. Cool. So what I mean by passing chord is you're only going to do that for 1 count, which should be the 3rd beat, and then you should on the 4th count land back on the A. So what I mean by that is you're going to hear it do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Haka Mana, toru fa. Haka Mana para tawana fa. Alright. So, toru fa, if you haven't picked it up already, is this 3, 4. Alright? Tahi, rua, toru fa. Ka pai? And that's how this thing will start off. So that E, because it's only just for 1 count, we're just going to use it as a passing chord to go back to the A. So that's your intro. Now, once that we get into the verse of the song, and we're going to play the song twice, it's just going along and following the vowel sounds. So we're just going. So if we go from the intro, so tahi rua toru fa, haka mana toru fa, haka mana para tawana fa, e heke me ne pere te we ne fe, e heke me ni pere te we ne fe, o hoko mo no poro tono po. Alright, So the Haka Mana and then the Mene, that is over the A major, those two lines. And then once that we go to the I, or in Māori you pronounce it as E, Mene Piri Tiwini Fi, that one is over the D chord. So that's our 4 chord. Alright, simple D chord. First finger is just going to be on the 2nd fret of the G. 3rd finger is going to be on the 3rd fret of the B. And then our high E string is going to have our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret. And you should get that shape there. And if you look at the diagram, you will see that the A string and the E string have a cross next to it, so you don't play those strings. So you're going to try to aim to just play from the D string all the way through to the high E. Okay. Ka pai. So we'll try to do that, and then once you get to the vowel sounds, you should be landing on the 5 chord, which is our E major. So if I was to go from Mene Piri Tiwini Fi, so the I or the E sound, right? So Mene Piri Tiwini Fi, o komo no poro to no po, a e I o u hukumu puru tu. Cool. So for that last bit there, over the a, e, I, o, u, which is just the pronunciation of the vowel sounds in Māori, you're going to go to the E chord. So that E chord again. And this is just for 2 counts of that bar. So you're going to go 2 counts on the E, then 2 counts on the D. So you're going 5, 4, and then you're going to resolve back to 1. Now when you get to the U or the U sound, for that line, you're just going to do what you did for the intro, right? So you're only going to hit the E on the 3rd beat and then resolve back to the 1 chord or the A. Alright, so you're going. So when you get to the word of tu, or the letter tu, you should be hitting that E, and then tu, wu, nu. So then the nu you should be resolving back to the A when you go to the NGU or the nu. Ka pai. And that's pretty much the whole song. So if you want to go and have a jam with that, there's going to be a play along track right at the end, and you can see if you can keep up with it. Remember, the song goes through twice, but that's the whole entire song. Now I'll give you a little bit of insight to a bit of reo and pronunciation. Ka pai. With this part here, I'm going to just talk about a little bit about pronunciation of te reo Māori, or the Māori language. It's usually a challenge for people who speak English. My first language is English. As what I said, a disclaimer, I'm not a te reo Māori teacher. I don't teach reo, and I'm still picking up the full fluency of it for myself. My mother, as I grew up, spoke Māori and would speak Māori to us. Actually taught kohanga reo, so when I used to go there after school sometimes, any time that we walk through those doors, kaore te kōrero Pākehā, meaning that you cannot speak English in that place. It's full immersion. And so because of that, I had to at least understand Māori. It's just I can't respond back. So that's just a disclaimer there. But ahakoa he iti he pounamu, even though it is small, it is a treasure. So there is a little bit of insight that I can give to this, particularly as English is my first language. One of the most common things that people get wrong is the vowel sounds and how you actually pronounce it. A lot of people struggle with it is just because they read it like English. So when you have A-E-I-O-U, they will read it and say it in their head like that, A-E-I-O-U. So if we were to take common words like, let's say, Māori, so just the word Māori, people, when you hear it, it will come out like marry. They will go marry, that married person. The reason why it comes out like that is, again, because they're reading it as if it is English, instead of going or ri, right? Māori. Now you kind of hear some people say like, oh, moldy, as in like moldy bread, as in the bread is moldy. But people who are experts in this area would probably debate that. I'll leave that debate to them. All that I know is that when you read a Māori word, because Māori was never a written language, it was all spoken, so then the phonic sounds are very important. But when you would read something like Māori, it's the vowels in which you separate in order to get the pronunciation correct. So if you practice with a, e, I, o, u, those will get you the pronunciation. And the other thing that people struggle with is the rolling of the R. When you get Māori, you can hear with my mouth that I'm getting the r sound. It's not a r. R is English, r is Māori. So when you put that with the I, because that's what I said, you separate it by vowel. So you got MA, so that's ma, or, because of the O, ri. So you pronounce the R and the I together, but you separate it by vowel. And as long as you do that, you'll kind of generally get the right pronunciation. Another common one is Aotearoa. So with Aotearoa, it will usually come out when they've mispronounced it as Aotearoa. And again, it's because they're reading it as if it's English. And so they're going A-E-I-O-U as opposed to the A-E-I-O-U. And then because of the ro, that rolling of the R is also struggling for them because they're going R instead of R, right? So when we say it, as what I said, it's good with these ones that have vowels together. So ao, which is a word in itself, if you go to ao, Aotearoa, Aotearoa. So if I was to say it properly, it would be Aotearoa. Alright, let's just do a couple more that are mispronounced as well. So, te Reo Māori, which is just the Māori language. That's all that that translates to. But te Reo Māori, or Māori, right? So you're going te Reo Māori instead of te Reo Māori or te Reo Maori, right? That's not the right pronunciation. It's you even have it with place names. So Tauranga is what we usually hear. It should be Tauranga, right? Ta-u, Tauranga. Rotorua should be Rotorua. And then another one, Waikato, should be Waikato. Even here in Tāmaki Makaurau in Auckland, if you have Papatoetoe, it should be Papatoetoe because of the o in there, right? So it's not toe, as in like your toe on your foot. It should be toe, Papatoetoe. Ka pai? So have a go at doing the vowel sounds. That's why a Haka Mana is such a good song for this, because it's helping you to get those vowel sounds. A, e, I, o, u. Uhukumu, uhukumunu, puru, tuunufu. Ka pai. Practice that up. Have a go with the jam track if you want to. Let's see how you are. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. There's going to be some more content coming. There's already some content there as well. No mai haere mai, you're all welcome on this journey. Ka pai, we'll see you in the next one. Ka kite anō. 1, 2, 3, 4. Haka mana, toru, wha. A haka mana para tawana wha. E heke me ne pere te wene whe. E hiki me ne pere te wene whe. O hoko mo no poro tō no who. A, e, I, o, u. Uhukumu, puru, tuunufu. A haka mana para tawana wha. E heke me ne pere te wene whe. E hiki me ne pere te wene whe. O hoko mo no poro tō no who.